shooting. Authorities say the gunman was a disgruntled employee taking aim at coworkers with deadly force, shooting a police officer, too, who was raced to the hospital. They believe he's alive because of his bulletproof vest. Also, breaking news coming in from North Korea right now, what they've now done. Our foreign correspondent standing by. The severe thunderstorm watch in the Northeast as we come on the air tonight as a lightning strike hits at least 6 people late today on the East Coast. And the father who did not survive trying to save his 11-year-old son in a rip current. The boy made it to shore. The horrific case unfolding tonight, multiple family members killed, then police say a man firing his way into a second home. The sheriff now asking tonight, was this suspect imitating the Jamie Kloss case? President Trump doubling down tonight, describing Baltimore as hell and declaring he is the least racist person in the world. The new turn tonight, 2 American teenagers accused of killing a police officer in Rome. Authorities in Italy now revealing the 7-inch knife used in the attack. The race for 2020 tonight and the showdown this evening with one candidate now widening their lead. Your privacy tonight, the massive security breach, what we've now learned, 100 million people, Social Security numbers, addresses stolen, how to know if you're affected and what you should do right now. Rebecca Jarvis standing by. And the miracle toddler slipping through a railing here, dangling from that balcony, and what they do on the ground to save him.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night. And we begin tonight with another deadly workplace shooting, this time at a Walmart. An employee opening fire on coworkers and on an officer. The suspect showing up early this morning, targeting those fellow workers. He shot that officer, too. They say that officer survived only because he had a bulletproof vest on. The gunman was shot. He did survive. He's now under arrest. 2 coworkers are dead. Shaken employees gathered outside, learning it was one of their own. And tonight, the heartbreak and the search for answers in South Haven, Mississippi. ABC's Steve Osunsami leads us off from the scene tonight.
6:33 this morning, customers who had just walked out of this 24-hour Walmart supercenter in suburban Memphis say that the gunfire started in the parking lot, and then the man with the firearm ran inside the store.
Kind of shook up over it, really. Once people realized what was going on, they all just flooded out.
What was going on was yet another active shooter. And according to Walmart, the accused gunman was a disgruntled employee. Police have arrested 39-year-old Martez Abram, now charged with 2 counts of murder. His alleged victims are 2 men witnesses say he knew. Anthony Brown, the store's manager, and Brandon Gales, whose family says he worked for Walmart for 16 years. Both men were shot dead. Police arrived just minutes later.
2 of our officers encountered the suspect outside on the west side parking lot of the building. One of our officers was shot at this time.
The officer who was shot was saved by his bulletproof vest. The other officer fired and wounded the accused gunman, who was hospitalized and needed surgery and remains in police custody tonight.
And Steve Osunsami joins us live tonight from the scene of this shooting. And Steve, you've learned that the police there had just conducted active shooter training exercises?
Yes, David. Police here finished formal active shooter training just 2 weeks ago, and I just spoke with the mayor of this city, who says that the accused gunman set a fire inside the store, so they're certain he intended to hurt more people and are thankful their officers shut him down. David.
We are thinking about the people of South Haven tonight, Steve. Thank you. And we are also following a breaking headline out of North Korea tonight, the newest provocation. And it comes just days after they launched a new type of ballistic missile. And moments ago, the White House now saying they are aware of this new report. Here's our foreign correspondent, James Longman, with late reporting tonight.
Less than 1 week after Kim Jong-un fired off 2 short-range ballistic missiles, news tonight he's at it again. South Korean news agency Yonhap reporting multiple unidentified projectiles were launched from the Hodo Peninsula on North Korea's east coast. Today, President Trump insisting his relationship with the dictator remains strong.
My relationship with Kim Jong-un is a very good one, as I'm sure you've seen. We'll see what happens. I can't tell you what's going to happen.
It was 1 month ago today that the president and Kim met at the demilitarized zone. Trump becoming the first American president to step into the North Korean territory.
I'd be very proud to do that. Okay, let's do it. Come on.
But since then, no direct talks at all between the 2 countries.
So let's get right to James Longman. He's live in London tonight. And James, in just the last 24 hours, we take note that Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that he hopes nuclear negotiations will start, a quote, again very soon. And now this news tonight.
David, tonight, no word when or if that will happen. We do know that the last communication with North Korea was last week when a Trump administration official delivered photographs of the president and Kim together at the DMZ. Tonight, the senior administration officials tells us they are aware of the new launch and are monitoring the situation. David?
James Longman on the breaking news tonight. James, thank you. Back here at home into the news here. A severe thunderstorm watch in the Northeast as we began tonight. At least 6 people were struck by lightning working on a rooftop in Wellington, Florida. 4 rushed to the hospital. And all of this comes as 2 tropical disturbances are brewing in the Atlantic, and the hurricane now is at a Cat 4 level. Let's get right to meteorologist Rob Marciano. He's tracking it all for us live tonight. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. The heat and humidity ahead of this front has really made for some potent storms. We had 76-mile-per-hour wind gusts just north of Burlington. You see it on the radar here in upstate New York. A lot of trees down Ithaca back through Pennsylvania as well. That watch is up until 9 o'clock tonight. Front moves east tomorrow. I-95 City is going to get some big boomers that will eventually break the heat, thankfully. And those hurricanes in the Pacific, 2 of them, Flossie and Eric. Eric of more concern, a Category 4 now, less than 1,000 miles from the Big Island. A southerly track, some weakening, we hope. We're also watching a disturbance right now over Puerto Rico, giving them some record rains. That disturbance is rolling towards the southeast, will bring parts of the U.S. some heavy downpours. David?
A lot to watch in these days ahead. Rob, thank you. Now to the horrific string of murders in Wisconsin we're following tonight. A gunman killing 3 family members, then shooting his way into a second home, killing a woman there and wounding her parents. And tonight the sheriff is now saying that that suspect may have been imitating the abduction of teenager Jamie Kloss. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Tonight, a horrifying scene police say may have been a copycat crime. Richie German Jr. is accused by police of killing 4 people and may have been imitating the high-profile abduction last year of teenager Jamie Kloss by shooting his way into the family home of one woman he may have intended on kidnapping.
Kind of similar in nature in the Kloss investigation. The door was breached, a shotgun was used. Mr. Kloss was shot, Mrs. Kloss was shot.
Authorities say German killed 3 of his own family members at their home in Lafayette, Wisconsin, before heading to the home of the woman, shooting and injuring her parents and killing her before killing himself. Police say this may have been a failed kidnapping attempt.
There's some items that we found in the vehicle. The way the vehicle's left and running.
Last October, just 40 miles away, Jamie Kloss was abducted from her parents' home. Kloss eventually escaped. Her abductor sentenced to life in prison for kidnapping her and murdering her parents.
David, investigators say they're now reviewing text messages between the gunman and the woman they believe he was trying to kidnap. The motive in this case remains unclear. David?
All right, Alex Perez, thank you. Next tonight, we are learning more about the victims and the survivors of that mass shooting at a food festival in California. You remember the pictures. The gunman unleashing at the family event, people running in panic. 3 people died. And what we've now learned about this case tonight. ABC's Will Carr in Gilroy, California, again this evening.
Tonight, investigators are scouring this massive crime scene, trying to figure out why Santino William Ligon opened fire on a packed food festival. Authorities now zeroing in on the murder weapon. They say the suspect legally bought the AK-47 style rifle in Nevada on July 9th. The gun store posting on Facebook the suspect was acting happy and showed no reasons for concern. Police say he then illegally transported the gun into California before killing 3, including 13-year-old Kayla Salazar, who died as she stayed back with a relative with a cane, and 25-year-old Trevor Irby, his parents speaking exclusively with ABC station KGO.
I just wish I could have held his hand when he passed. That's all I meant to. Love you.
In all, more than a dozen injured.
So this is actually the one that went in and out of my leg.
Bullets grazed both Justin Bates and his best friend, Nick McFarland.
The doctor said about 5 to 7 different bullets grazed me. I'm a walking miracle right now.
We just found out the suspect's family actually thought that he might have been a victim, that he might have been killed at the festival behind me when they didn't hear from him for a long time. Ultimately, though, David, they found out that he was the gunman. David.
Will Carr tonight. Will, thank you. President Trump wrapping up his attacks on Maryland Congressman Elijah Cummings and on the city of Baltimore, saying the people there are living in hell. That's what he said today, adding that they're largely African American and that they really appreciate what I'm doing. ABC's Kira Phillips is live at the White House tonight. And Kira, the president also pushing back against those accusations that he's racist. And here's what he said today.
I am the least racist nicest person there is anywhere in the world. What I've done for African Americans in 2.5 years, no president has been able to do anything like it.
And Kira, the president speaking today at Jamestown, Virginia, commemorating 400 years of representative government here, but a number of lawmakers decided to skip the speech.
That's right, David. Virginia's Legislative Black Caucus boycotted Trump's speech today, and in a statement saying it is impossible to ignore the emblem of hate and disdain that the president represents. Now, there was also one state lawmaker, David, of color, who did show up, and he took the opportunity to protest, shouting, "Mr. President, you cannot send us back. Virginia is our home." A reference, you'll remember, to the racist chant that broke out at the president's most recent rally in Greenville, North Carolina. David?
Kira Phillips at the White House. Thank you, Kira. And tonight, that issue of race and this rhetoric lately will likely come up during this newest Democratic presidential debate. Another likely topic, frontrunner Joe Biden, even though he won't be on the stage tonight on night one. In fact, look at this. A new national Quinnipiac poll shows the former vice president increasing his lead, with 34% of Democratic voters now supporting him. Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg all trailing behind. So let's get right to Mary Bruce. She's live in Detroit for the debate tonight. And Mary, this is a make or break moment, really, for many of the candidates. They got to try to break through the pack, and it's a large one.
Well, David, for so many of the candidates on the wings here tonight who have been struggling to break through, they have to have some kind of moment here if they want to survive. As for the candidates in that middle tier, like Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, and Pete Buttigieg, they're also looking for a much-needed boost. These moderate candidates are trying to distinguish themselves from their progressive rivals on issues like health care and education, but they're also trying to make the case that they can best appeal to those voters in the key swing states. David?
Mary, let's laser in on two others, because right at the center tonight, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, they've campaigned on similar issues. They've often teamed up in the past. But of course, the big question tonight, will they take each other on?
Yeah, David, the focus here is all on these two progressive powerhouses. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders are running on many of the same issues. They're fighting for the same voters, and they are close friends and political allies. Tonight is going to test their truce, but both campaigns tell us this is simply not the night to start going after each other. David?
Mary Bruce with us live from Detroit. Mary, thank you. And overseas to Italy now, and a new turn in the case of those two American teenagers accused of killing a police officer. Authorities tonight now revealing an image of the 7-inch knife that they say was used in the attack. ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell is in Rome.
Tonight, the murder weapon used to kill an Italian policeman, allegedly by an American teenager. The blade, 7 inches long, according to police, plunged into the officer 11 times, sometimes to the hilt. Police say 18-year-old Gabriel Natal and 19-year-old Finnegan Elder from California confessing to the stabbing of Officer Mario Churchiello Rega after a drug deal gone bad. The pair allegedly stole a backpack from this spot, later demanding cash and cocaine for its return. They were spotted on surveillance running away, but when police finally confronted them, it allegedly turned violent. Today, the prosecutor saying Elder claimed he was thrown to the ground and didn't know the men were police, and he started stabbing. The surviving officer insisted they identified themselves as police and showed badges. He says his partner fell to the ground crying, "They stabbed me." Tonight, a close family member confirming to ABC News that Finnegan Elder was arrested in 2016 for being involved in a pre-arranged fight at a party, but insisting he doesn't have a criminal record. David?
Ian Pannell in Italy tonight. Ian, thank you. Back here now, the president's nominee to be the nation's #2 military officer defending himself against allegations of sexual misconduct. Air Force General John Hyten telling a Senate panel, quote, "Nothing happened ever," as his accuser sat behind him in that room. That accuser, an Army colonel, says he's lying. ABC's Stephanie Ramos was there.
Tonight, the Air Force general in line to become the nation's second highest ranking military officer, vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, forced to defend himself against sexual assault allegations.
I want to state to you and to the American people in the strongest possible terms that these allegations are false.
General John Hyten today sitting just steps away from his accuser, Army Colonel Catherine Spletstoser, a former aide at U.S. Strategic Command. The 28-year veteran told the New York Times in explicit detail that Hyten, her former boss, sexually assaulted her in her hotel room during a conference in 2017. She claims it was one of several unwanted advances, but a military investigation found insufficient evidence to charge or punish Hyten. Today, Senator Martha McSally, who has shared her own experience